After a toddler in Algiers suffered severe lead poisoning at her daycare, a state senator now pushes legislation to prevent it from happening again. Fox 8's Lead Astray investigation uncovered nobody checked the facility for lead paint before it opened. Chris Joseph reports on the proposed bill that could close a dangerous regulatory gap.
Last summer, Olivia and Alika Yuen dropped their daughter off at her Algiers daycare, assuming she'd be safe. To the naked eye, nothing about the old building or play yard suggested any danger, but nobody looked for a hidden one. A routine doctor's checkup showed the UN's 2-year-old suffered severe lead poisoning.
I think the best way I've thought about this, how I would describe it, is like a scream being trapped in your chest.
The girl's poisoning triggered a state review. State inspectors found lead in the Crescent School and its yard. The CDC says lead poisoning can damage the brain, slow growth, and lower IQ.
You are feeling so much as a parent, so much fear and anxiety about like what's going to happen in the next 24 hours, and then you're flooded with like the next 24 years going to look like.
Fox 8's Lead Astray investigation uncovered records which show no one tested the school for lead paint before it opened in 2024. State law requires the owners of new daycares to get their buildings checked for lead if they haven't already been cleared. Crescent School owner Liza Drennan successfully completed a Department of Education opening checklist, which included a Department of Health inspection. That inspection didn't check for lead. Drennan told Fox 8 nobody told her about the state lead testing requirement, but state agencies approved her license to open.
I trusted, like I said, and I don't know how many times I can say, is I trusted the Department of Health and I trusted the Department of Education to not only make sure that I did everything, but also to say, hey, did you do this? Hey, you missed this. They're supposed to help me, because it's not just helping me, it's helping a school.
That system was not there, and it did feel very disappointing.
The UNs had to take their daughter to the hospital. The state closed the Crescent School, putting an official notice on the building. Algiers State Senator Gary Carter says the Department of Health told him 18 out of 27 children who attended the school suffered elevated blood lead levels. Months later, the department still has not confirmed that number to Fox 8.
We're going to fix this.
North Shore State Senator Patrick McMath chairs the Senate Health and Welfare Committee. He's now filed a bill which requires new and existing daycares and elementary schools built before 1978 to submit lead testing results for their buildings, water supply, and grounds to the Department of Health. If investigators find lead, the state won't approve kids in the building until it's cleared. Remember, state law already requires new school owners to test for lead, but it doesn't require state agencies check to make sure that happens.
We just looked at an attempt at a common sense approach to closing the gap between the reporting requirement and the testing at LDH and DEQ.
Do you think this would have prevented what happened in your case?
Yes.
Drennan says McMath's bill is a step in the right direction, but the state should make sure there's funding for lead remediation.
The last thing that this city needs is another school to close. What happens when they find it? Will they also have to close? Like, are more teachers going to have to lose their jobs and more families have to find new childcare?
McMath acknowledges his bill would cost schools.
At some point, we need to ask ourselves, where are we placing the priority? Is it the schools having the ability to, remain open, but also be an unsafe environment for children?
Caroline Romer leads the State Association of Charter Schools and says she credits the bill for being proactive, but wonders about the lead in Old New Orleans.
The problem, though, is the land they're on, the infrastructure of the city that is serving those schools, i.e. the water system. There could be real problems.
The New Orleans Sewage and Water Board's executive director, Randy Heyman, estimates more than half the water pipes in the city are lead. However, the utility has targeted schools for lead line replacement.
Everything just too often does boil down to what the costs will be.
The UNs are now suing the Crescent School and state over their daughter's poisoning. They declined an interview request. The state legislative session begins in March, and the bill will start in McMath's committee. The UN's daughter will likely still be receiving treatment when lawmakers debate how to protect future children like her. In New Orleans, Chris Joseph, Fox 8, Local First.
If you're concerned about lead in your child's water, the Sewage and Water Board offers an online map. It looks like this. It shows where it's identified lead lines. If you click on the red icons here, you can see just how much lead may or may not be in your pipes. All the gray is unknown and the solid blue is non-lead.